Today we're up at the Northern Michigan Garden, and this is going to be a whole different garden tour than what you're used to. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and before we begin this video, I think I should explain to you, our viewers, what do I mean when I say our Northern Michigan Garden. So this garden here, if you live in Michigan, you have up north. Up north really means about 2 hours from your home is considered up north. So if you're at the bottom of Michigan going to Grand Rapids, you're going up north. For us, up north is about 2 hours away, is about the Ludington area, Ludington, Cadillac, that type of area. So that's the vicinity of Michigan that we're talking about when we talk about our up north garden. So in this space here, we have some land that we have, and we are going to be just really creating natural type gardens. It's a nice sized piece of property. There's a lot of wildlife on it. There's deer, there's crane, there's turkeys, there's probably even bear in the area as well. So the gardens that we're planting, we have to be really mindful that they are deer friendly or deer resistant plants. Who knows, down the road we might even plant some deer plots. We have lots of family that likes to hunt, and this is an area that we want to have available for our family, for my brothers, if they want to go hunting. There's room for them to do that. So the first garden we're going to actually try and start today is going to be just more of a wildflower field. So the thought with this garden is we're going to buy seed in, just sprinkle the seed in the area we're going to till up today, and have an area for pollinators. Butterflies obviously are important to us, so we hope to attract more butterflies to the area. The bees, just on the other side of the property, there's probably about 5 beehives over there. So I think if we plant the wildflowers, the native flowers here to Michigan, that will be beneficial for that beekeeper as well. Down the road, we might even plant an Asclepias field. We know that Asclepias or milkweed is very important for the monarch butterfly population. So our goal there would be just to plant a ton of milkweed and hopefully bring more monarch butterflies to this area. So this is going to be a work in progress. At this point, I don't know exactly where it's going to go or what it's going to look like, but we're just hoping to have a little fun out here, plant some wildflowers, and just see how they do. One thing I will tell you, as we've kind of scoped out this land, there are already a ton of wildflowers on this property. There's yarrow, there's monarda. Oh, what else have I seen? Celosia, which I was a little bit surprised with that. No, not celosia, but gomphrena. That was really pretty earlier in the spring. There's Queen Anne's lace. And these are just ones that are popping to my head here. I mean, there's a lot of other wildflowers that most of us would call weeds, and that's probably why I don't even know the name of the plants that we're seeing on this property. So it's been fun to explore and just see all of the natural to Michigan wildflowers that are growing. Where we're at here, I would say this is probably a pretty solid zone 5 gardening zone. A lot of pine trees in the area, a lot of hardwood, oaks, maples, poplars, which poplar I don't think is very hardwood, but there's a lot of oaks and maples in the area. There's also a lot of autumn olive. Now, autumn olive is a very invasive species here in Michigan. So as we're able to, we're going to be cutting out and cutting down all the autumn olive that we can on the property because it is, I don't want to say it's loaded with autumn olive, but there is a lot of autumn olive in this area. So we want to get rid of that as fast as we can because that stuff just spreads like wildfire, and is definitely a plant you don't want to have on your property. So that's another one of the things we'll be doing, is just going through and trimming down any trees that we needed to get trimmed down because they are invasive species. So we hope this is exciting. We're kind of excited for the new projects that we'll be able to show you. Just a whole different type of gardening style. I know, a lot of us have nice yards that we have our gardens in, but I know there are people out there that have bigger spaces that they're able to work in, and maybe they're just not even sure how to begin to do a wildflower field. So our goal is just to take you along on the process and show you what we're able to do in this space. So when we bought this property, there was a ton of old farm implements that we found just stuck in various little thickets and stuff in the woods. This particular one here, our son Carter hooked it up to the tractor and has been kind of pulling it around. This here, I believe, is called a two-prong plow, or I don't know, two plows. I don't know my tractor stuff. You guys are probably watching, guys specifically, and are going, girl, that's a this or that. But anyways, this thing is old. It's like probably 1940s, 1950s. It's got a flat tire on it, but you know, as long as it's circular, it'll pull. So Carter did a little bit of digging up of the land with this baby, and it was surprising how well it worked. Let's go take a look at some of the other random finds. Here's a few other things that we found. This here, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't know my things. So we found this, and this too he hooked up and was able to drag through the garden to kind of work it up a little bit. This is I think he called it a sickle bar or something. So this doesn't work, or he hasn't been able to get it to work. But there's another little piece of something we found. Oh man, this was my son's dream, finding all this equipment. He's such a farm boy, even though he's a city boy. Here's a disc that he found, and he was able to tug this thing through a little piece of land and was able to get this to roll through and chop up the garden a little bit. So that was kind of fun. Kind of clinks and clanks as it goes along. Continuing back, this thing's pretty cool. I love the wagon wheels on it. Like, that is really pretty. If nothing else, it would be cool to just kind of set out, I don't know, as a yard decor or something. But I think this has something to do with when you hay a field, maybe it gathers all the hay. I think this thing here, he said, was a old seeder that puts the seeds into the garden. Continuing back, this I think is just a plow. It has a very long arm on it, so I don't know. Yeah, here's another. I think this is a plow, but this one with that old metal seat, I think this one is pretty old. Again, I don't know how old they are. A few of the brands that we've seen, we did see one thing that was John Deere. Another thing was called a New Idea. I don't know. I guess that's a tractor brand. But I think Carter was saying this was one that you would pull behind horses back in the day. So that's kind of cool. And then I have no idea what this thing is. It might just be a piece of metal, who knows. And then this is like a saw. So I don't know, it looks like it's probably broken, but there's a saw there that's laying on the ground, so I don't even know what that was for either. But it's been really fascinating and fun just going through the woods and finding all this old, I'm going to call it junk. My son's going to say, Mom, this is not junk. This is awesome. This is treasures. And I mean, seriously, he was so excited as he just kept finding more and more of the stuff in the woods, pulling it out. So some of this is, let's say, semi-usable, even though it's not in tip-top shape. It's working. He's having fun playing with it. But yeah, it's always fascinating. The house that was on this property was built I think it was built in like 1908 or something. And I'll have to put pictures up because we've torn the house down at this point because it was all falling over and basically just some trees were holding it up. So we pulled that house down. It was actually over in that clearing, like right in this area here. So there's a bunch of thickets of trees in there as well that we had removed just to kind of create a nice big open space. That way it'll be nicer for if we do want to farm this land. And by farm, I'm not sure at this point what farm means. Does farm mean like flower seed farming? Does it mean deer plot farming? I don't know what it means. Carter was playing with the implements he found. He just kind of did a couple rows here using the plow. And so this is what plowed up ground looks like. So, I mean, not ideal for planting into. Compared to rototilled ground, which we hooked onto the back of the tractor, a rototiller. Look how nice and smooth that is. Chewed up the grass really good. So rototilled ground definitely is something that looks like we could probably plant right into it. So Rod is having so much fun that he hasn't turned the tractor over to me. He said he'd let me do it. And look at here, he's already done like 4 stripes. And I'm not even sure how wide he wants this garden. Not that wide. So it might be I'm gonna miss the boat on being able to try this out. Wait, is he getting off? Is he gonna let me have a turn? Oh, I just got the signal. I'm on. I feel like a farmer, not a real one though. Although it was fun to try, and I'm glad I did it, it's not something that I truly love to do. So I know that Rod enjoys this kind of thing. I know that Carter enjoys this kind of thing. So I'm going to leave the tractor duties up to those that enjoy using it. Playing with the land is going to be fun. It's already been fun exploring what we have so far. Like I said, finding all those old farm implements, that was so cool. Showing you the picture of the old house that used to be on this property, and just different things that we're learning from local farmers of the area has been real interesting and intriguing to learn about. So we will be sure to keep you updated on the process of this little garden bed that we're creating here. Next video we will be showing you us planting it up, so stay tuned for that. If you're new to our channel, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.